Hello everyone, I'm Susan Lee MacDonald and welcome back to The Interview. Who am I is a question that a lot of us ask. We all have questions about our identity. We have our nice side, we've got our evil side, we've got our curious side, and so many sides to just one person. And sometimes we need to know who we are. We're going to meet an artist who asks these very amazing questions about identity, finding out who she is through a lot of her artwork and photography. Let's get to meet the amazing Nikki Lee.
Stripper, schoolgirl, lesbian, and yuppie. Can you believe that they are the same person? It's none other than the ever-transforming artist Nikki S. Lee. She's an artist and photographer who is well-renowned in the world's #1 art market, New York. The technique used for these photos seem amateur, but it is this seemingly effortless touch that grabs people's attention. Nikki Lee explores her identity through photography by constantly asking herself who she is in an effort to discover her true inner self. The candid interview with artist Nikki Lee, who seeks the significance of her existence by undergoing constant transformations, begins right now.
Nikki Lee, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Oh, thank you, and thank you for inviting me here.
Absolutely. Well, you're so well known in New York, in the art world, and it's fantastic to have you here in Korea and to have your art displayed here. You have become an overnight sensation, well, years ago in New York, and people just love your work. What do you think it is about your work that people love?
Oh, I think people understand my concept easily because everybody has fantasy to be to live other people's life or something, and also it's photo. So if you look at the photo, easy photos, it's just visually simple to understand, and then also it's fun to watch easy photos, like how the artists change different way. I think those reasons probably.
Tell me about what happened from when you started the idea of doing basically a transformation of yourself.
I went to FIT to study fashion photography, and then I was working for David LaChapelle's studio, and then I realized that after 6 months, fashion photos world is not for me. I was a little struggled, difficult, and it's all business and everything. And I was thinking maybe I want to make a work for myself. So I decided to go to NYU to study art and photo and everything. And I had to make a work to graduate. Homework.
So was it like a final project, like a student project or something?
Yeah, it's a student project. And then the project is the first art piece I made. And then I was thinking that time, what kind of art I want to make. And I was thinking probably it has to be from my inside, my story. And I was thinking what my interest is, and also I was interested in identity issues. So I kind of wanted to make a snapshot, documentary quality combined with identity issues.
And with the different types of works that you kind of created, how long did it actually take from the beginning to the end of getting this photo made?
Each project I spent 3 or 4 months. So 2 or 3 months for just preparing everything, buy clothes, gain weight, lose weight, or change my outfit.
You gained and lost weight?
Exactly, yeah. Because I gained a lot of weight when I did Hispanic project. and I lost a lot of weight when I did exotic dancers. I spent like 1 month for actually taking photos, and I didn't want to go more over a month because it seems like it became a real life. I don't know, it's just my feeling. After like month, you know, I didn't feel like it's fake.
I see.
Yeah.
So you almost felt like you were actually becoming that person?
So I just wanted to have like month. Yeah, it's a ridiculous probably process, you know, to think about month is fake and then over month is real. But that's my rules.
Interesting. So as you were preparing for this time period of a month, like how long did you normally kind of stay in that environment? Did you live with the people? Let's say like with the Hispanic project, did you live in the Hispanic area?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I go there and make a friend and hang out with them and spend time with them like for a month.
Okay.
But you know, I came back home at night and watching Korean drama to relax.
Yes.
Nikki Lee constantly explores the subject of identity through photography. She interacted with different types of people to portray various ethnic and social groups to show diverse identities.
What did you learn from this direct experience of kind of interacting with the people that you were kind of portraying?
I think probably I felt the emotions like all people are from different cultures, but you know, basic emotions from the life is kind of same. Yeah, like human beings.
Yeah.
That's probably what I learned from my project.
Wow.
But all details and all cultures are different, so people don't understand each other if culture is different. Actually, it's hard to understand. You know, I think Western, Eastern, you know, or different religion. The concept of the singing life is different. Emotion probably there are same emotions like sad and laugh and you know, but the concept of life probably is different from each culture. So
definitely.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people find it very easy to stereotype a certain culture a certain way, but there are certain similarities between cultures. Did you find that there are more similarities than differences?
Oh, I mean, for example, like a Jewish culture and Korean culture probably a little similar, you know?
In what ways?
In working hard. I mean, this kind of stereotypes, but working hard also. But at the same time, Hispanic culture and Korean culture, there's similarity. They play hard too, you know? So each culture has kind of, you know, similarity.
Yeah. If you look at it like that, then the Korean culture not only works really hard, but plays hard, so we have the best of both worlds, is that right?
Best or worst?
So, looking at all of the art that you've done here, I'm guessing that you might have a particularly favorite experience while making this art. Do you have one that you can share with us?
Each project has different memories and different experience, so I don't have favorite, but some like experience are unique. For example, exotic dancers.
Yes, that must have been interesting.
I know. I mean, I remember the first day I danced in front of people. I was so shaking because you know I never be half naked in front of people.
I believe that the kind of courage it takes for someone to become an exotic dancer is very different than, you know, becoming a tourist or a punk, a yuppie, for the art that you're doing. And so I imagine that the first time that you got up on that stage to dance must have been pretty terrifying.
When I was young, not anymore, but so I was very nervous, and then I was kind of like shaking, and then the guys in front of me like, why you look so nervous? And I was like, because this is the first time, and then the guys like, first time, yeah, typical.
So after you did your dance, now did you choreograph your own dance too?
No, I didn't. I just
Did you just, you know?
No, not. I cannot just do disco. I had to do like pole dance.
Okay. So wasn't it difficult to do the pole dance? That's a lot of work.
Well, if you want to be really professional, it's hard. You have to climb. But I just did it like, casual way. So it wasn't that much hard, and it's not a Las Vegas club. It's in like middle of nowhere. So it was like kind of easy going. So it was okay.
Wow. And what did the other exotic dancers say about you?
Well, they knew that I'm an artist because I told them from the beginning. But the more I worked there, they just forget about it. So one Saturday night, I was sitting behind, and they came to me like, Nikki, what are you doing? You have to make money. This is big night. Just go on.
Well, I think that your experience of getting prepared for that role is really exciting to hear. And I'm sure you've got a lot of other stories. Is there something else, a project that you worked on that also had some kind of interesting story behind it?
For example, like seniors, because I had like really thick makeups and looks like, grandma. And then I always told people like, I'm an artist, because I didn't want to make a lie or something. So I remember one day I totally, changed to senior, and then I went to park. And there are a lot of grandmas sitting there. So I introduced myself. Hi, I look old, but I'm not old. I'm a student. I'm from Korea. And then they're like, oh, okay. And then we talk and like whole day, like, the grandma, like to talk about her life from the like Moscow to Eastern Europe. And it just takes whole day. And then later on, I was like, oh, okay, so I can see you later. And then they're like, oh, okay. And then they just grab my hands like, oh, you must really miss your grandson in Korea, right? So they didn't believe. They kind of thought like I'm kind of goo-goo.
That's too funny. Wow. Did you ever go back just as yourself and not dressed up as a senior?
I see like, grandmas and the supermarkets, but they don't really recognize me. Yeah. And then I kind of thought like maybe I can go there and say hello, but I don't want them to be shocked or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too confused.
Yeah.
So,
I can see that. Yeah, you don't want to cause them to have a heart attack.
Exactly.
You just seem to really love life, Nikki. I mean, just talking with you here, and I've gotten to know you only recently. You just have this kind of energy and kind of zest about you, and I think that really comes out through your work.
I think every art, it says artist. I think when you see art, and then you can imagine what kind of artist he is or she is. And then also my work is kind of like obvious in a way or not obvious in a way, because it's me and at the same time it's not me. So there is like little irony. As you say, the energy of work probably came from my energy. So I think if I made like honest work, probably that energy go on.
Yeah.
I am free. I can become anyone. Don't ask me who I am. Her works, considered as experiments on diverse identities, are in the collection of a number of museums, including the Museum of Modern Art, the Guggenheim, the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, and the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C.
So here we've got some of your lovely artworks, and I'd love to have you tell me specifically what you were thinking when you created this one.
Oh, this is lesbian project, and then I told them also like, I'm not a lesbian, but I'm doing this kind of work. I kind of pick up my characters like really tough and macho side, then put it in.
Yeah.
And this is the like lesbian club.
Okay.
And
Did they ever at any point feel like you were maybe making fun of them, or maybe just looking at them in a way that they didn't want to be perceived?
honestly, I never had an intention to make fun of people because I don't need to. And then also I have a lot of like gay and lesbian friends, so there's no point like what's to make fun of them. And then if people not comfortable to be in my pictures, I said like okay, I don't need to be.
So this was the lesbian kind of series. Let's move on to the next one, which is what? Tourist. So here is a completely different look from the last one, and you absolutely look like a tourist here. And here, when I see the photo, the whole point is actually, isn't it to get the whole Statue of Liberty in there? But
my friend took these pictures, and I told her like just make sure I'm in it. So she just focused on me. So she chopped, her head, but which makes this image very interesting.
Yes.
Because everybody knows what it is. So it's like funny, like ha ha ha, and that quality, I love it.
Yeah.
It's like accidental, images.
I love the fact that you have non-professionals take these photos, and also the fact that you have the timestamp here. Is this kind of on purpose, or did you put this in afterwards?
On purpose.
Okay.
This is like kind of very old-fashioned because nobody do this in these days.
Yes.
And also somehow I manipulate this date as well.
Okay.
Because people believe like, oh, this is 97 in August, so maybe not.
Yeah. Because this was actually done when?
97, but but maybe not. Not on maybe 27, maybe 28.
This is classic. I love this one. So as we walk down here, what are some of the other ones that you want to show me?
Let's see, Hispanic, Yuppies. Maybe we can talk about skateboarders.
Okay. So looking at you here, I mean, you're at a pretty high angle here. Now, did you do skateboarding?
Actually. Yeah, I do.
Really?
Do. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was tough.
So to be at this angle, you've got to be a pretty good skateboarder. Did you naturally know how to skateboard in Korea or something?
No, I got a loan. So I went to Riverside Park.
Okay.
And then hang out with the skateboarders. So I learned from skateboarders.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but this is not a New York. This is San Francisco.
Okay.
And then it was really difficult to do the skateboarders project, but at the same time it was fun because not so many girls. It's like I'm the only Asian girl. Yeah. So it was fun actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you fall and hurt a lot?
Yes. Yes.
Oh no.
No pain, no gain.
Wow. So tell us about this project. You look very different here. This is not kind of the Nikki Lee that's standing in front of me. This is a very different person. What's going on here?
Well, this is a hip hop project. So I went to a tennis salon 2 or 3 times a week for 2 months.
So this
is
not makeup?
Dark. Well, it is also makeup as well, but basically my skin was very dark because my body and my face tone is kind of same, because I didn't put the makeup in my body.
Wow.
So that was my skin tone at the time. So my skin was really dry and really bad, and I was afraid like, oh my God, I'm never gonna go back to my original skin. I was a little afraid.
Wow. So you actually went to this physical kind of extreme for you. Had you ever tanned like this before?
No.
Wow. No. Yeah. So you tanned. What else did you do that was different, that's not part of your normal life?
I also saved my eyebrow, so I made a really thin.
Oh wow, I definitely noticed that. Yeah,
thin eyeline. And like African American culture, I wasn't familiar, but I hang out with a lot of African Americans and like listen to a lot of hip hop music and celebrities, like birthday party or something.
Wow.
Yeah, hip hop culture.
Yeah, well, it seems like you definitely captured the moment here. And out of curiosity, how many times did you have to take photos to get this particular shot? Like several hundred, or?
No, it's only like 3 shots.
3 times.
Yeah, like 1, 2, 3. Usually people do because I don't want to have many options to select. I just want things like really like ordinary people do it, like just snapshot and just, 1, 2, 3 shots.
Nikki Lee isn't a photographer. She is an artist whose series of portraits caused an sensation. Then, who are the ones behind the camera lens? Surprisingly, her photos are taken by non-professional photographers. Artists and art enthusiasts in New York, the world's #1 art center, remember her as an innovative artist who broke the conventions of photography.
What is it that you try to show the audience through your work?
I'm not really trying to say something, actually. I kind of want to share about my concept about identity with the people. Look at this, identity can be changed. People has a lot of different characters themselves or something, and there are so many questions about identities, and this is the way how I look at the identities, those kind of.
Growing up, did you ever have any identity issues? Because I know you grew up here in Korea, where your identity is, Korean, native Korean. So
never. I didn't even know what identity is. Like never. Like I have identity issues from the outside because I was born in Korea, grew up in Korea with the Korean people. But I think myself, I always feel I have different kind of various characters inside. And for example, I was thinking like when I was young, teenagers, I was thinking, oh, it's better, guy told me that I like this kind of type of girl and I can be that girl, because I can be every girl. Like if this guy likes, let's say, very shy and lovely girl, I can be very shy and lovely girl. But and guy B likes tough and funny girl, I can be tough and funny girl. And they makes me too easy to be other different kind of types.
Yes.
So that's kind of identity issues about myself probably when I grew up. There's gap, people sometimes are confused oh, I wanna be this person, this kind of character, but I am this kind of character, and they try to be this kind of characters, but it's hard to be, and they don't want to reveal that I'm this kind of character, So that's my struggles too when I was young. But I decide to be honest and just forget it, It's I'm like this, and if you like or if you don't like, fine, Because I think I have more guts about myself through whole this kind of experience. Yeah.
It's never easy to kind of reveal who we are really internally to others and also to ourselves. So I think it's a really courageous thing for you to just say, this is who I am, like it or leave it.
Yeah, it's hard, but I tried.
Yeah.
I tried, and then that's also make things better, For example, this kind of interview, I can decide myself oh, I maybe look very serious and, intellectual and kind of, the elegant artist, I can wear elegant clothes and everything and talking about philosophy and everything, but it's not me. And I can pretend like that, actually. If I cannot, just forget it, but I am able to. That makes me very struggles before when I was young, because I gotta choose, because I am able to do this, and then when I was young, I chose the things I wanted to be, but it's not, I realized that after, it's not charming. So I decide, I can just be myself. It makes more sense.
Yes.
Yeah, just funny person.
I'm glad you're yourself. Thank you for being yourself on the show. Nikki, so many people who take photographs, they get the big DSLR cameras and they put a lot of money and effort into doing these incredibly elaborate setups. But from what I understand, you use just a simple point and shoot camera for your work.
Just different reasons. First of all, I didn't have money to rent like huge cameras. And then second, this is like documentary format.
Okay.
So it has to be really like humble, because otherwise other people feel like threatened, So I just wanted to make people feel like comfortable.
I see.
So little camera helps that. Also, I used snapshot camera like quality because I kind of wanted to, my work is that like if you pick up, let's say my picture, one of my projects, picture from the street, like, accidentally, you look at it and like, oh, this is like punk pictures, like punk with there is a little Korean here, so make people believe it. So the snapshot quality really help to make people believe this is real.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. And I heard that a lot of times you would ask passersby to take photos. So they were not professional people who took photos.
Yeah, friends also. yeah.
So why is it that you decided to use non-professionals?
Because I wanted to have really boring snapshot camera quality. So everybody can take a picture, those quality. So I don't want to have professional compositions and very, nice looking pictures. I just wanted to have like just snapshot, take a picture. So I asked friend just give the camera, and then she's like, okay, let's smile, and then just make sure don't chop my head because I have to be in it. So to make sure those things. But honestly, I studied photography for 10 years. So I know all technical stuff. So just the way she holding camera or like, standing, the way, her, attitude, I already knew how picture came out.
I see.
So I can kind of control like, if I wanted to be a center, I can move myself like this.
To make sure that you're in the shot.
Yeah.
Nikki, in a different project that you did called the Parts series, you basically blurred some people, you cut them out, there's only like a hand appearing here and there. What was the concept behind the layout here?
Actually, after our project, I was kind of wondering what identity means between personal relationships. So I realized that when I had a relationship with different guys, let's say A or B, I kind of felt that like I kind of changed myself, depends on what kind of guy I'm with.
I see.
So let's say guy A, I became like a really baseball person, even though I don't like baseball, and like become like a sweet and nice to guy A. But if I say guy B, I kind of realize that I always feel like angry or not sweet and just different way. So I was thinking, why? I'm the same person, Nikki. But why I am changing depends on what kind of guy I'm with. So I kind of wanted to make something about it.
I see.
Yeah. So Part series, I took a picture with guy and then cut off the other person out, and then there's like hands and shoes and some evidence what kind of guy he is. So it's more about identity in the relationship, the personal relationship.
I know that I've experienced this in personal relationships. Sometimes people bring out the best in you, right?
Yep.
And so you're your best self. You're happy, laughing, always just sweet and cheerful. And some people will definitely bring out the worst in you. And all of these different characteristics are in one person.
Exactly. Yeah.
So is this the kind of thing that you're trying to show through the
why
parts?
identity changed, with the different people.
So did you come up with an answer? Why does your identity change with each of these different people?
I think it's about energy. I think maybe in Eastern culture called 궁합.
Yes.
You know, in friend or you know lovers, it's like the 궁합 means you know the energy, you know, like each other, how go together.
Yeah.
I think that's the probably answer.
That's interesting. Now, I know that with the parts, some people may view this as totally original, but some people might be like, I could do that too, right? Did you want to have that feeling that anyone can do this art, but you were one of the first people to do this, or what do you say to the comments?
Oh, well, project or parts, everybody does come to the show and says like, oh, I can do this, you know, they feel that way, you know, which makes me feel good because, you know, you can go home and think about it. Why your snapshot cannot be an art and my snapshot can be an art. They are not an artist, you know, so they are not thinking about art all the time, but I'm thinking about art time.
Right.
So to spend the time,
right.
It's, you know, this is my life, you know, to think about, worry about.
Yes.
They don't worry about identities. I worry about identities.
Yeah.
Who is that person next to her? Nikki Lee's Parts series are comprised of pictures of her with different men whose faces cannot be seen, as if she had ripped these pictures after a breakup, leaving only a trace of the male partner's presence. His hand or torso, for example, stimulated people's interest and imagination.
I'd like to kind of go into how you began photography.
Well, I love films, movies when I was in high school. So honestly, I wanted to be an actress, but one day I look at the mirror and I look at myself like, oh, you are not pretty enough to be an actress. And then I think I was smart to realize I cannot be an like actress. And then I thought myself, then I can just maybe direct film. I want to make a film. So I asked my parents, I want to go, you know, university to study film. And then my parents doesn't like that idea. And then my parents suggest me, why don't you go to photography school? Then you can learn photography and it's related to film and everything. Because my dad, he went to photography school, same school
really?
with me.
Really?
Yeah,
At a different time?
Yeah, different time,
wow.
of course. So I thought, that's not a bad idea. So I went to photography school.
Interesting.
But I hate it. I hate taking pictures. I hate like the carry camera around. So the fresh year, like I was really terrible. But after 1 year, I kind of love how to say the meaning of photography, like photography itself.
Okay.
I mean, I still don't like taking picture, but I love photography. You know, context.
Yes.
So that's the I think time I start to do photography seriously.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Earlier you said that your father went to the same school as you for photography. Now I'm assuming that as a photographer he is an artistic person.
I think we have same blood. So I think my or like kind of artistic talent from I think my father, same blood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now what does your father think of your art?
I gotta ask.
You still haven't asked your father?
No, but he really loves my work. And then, I mean, one thing, about my father, he's from Gyeongsangdo, he's like really typical Korean guy. And when he look at my books, he saw Exotic Dancers project, right? So he's like half naked and all thing. And then I was wondering like what he's gonna say. But he's like, can you explain about this concept? And then I can explain to my friends. Because he wants to show my books to his friends, which is like a bunch of Gyeongsangdo guy. you know, and have naked models pictures. So he really wants to understand what kind of concept it is, and like seriously.
Yes.
So he really wants to like explain his friend like serious way about my work, and I really appreciate that moment, you know.
That's really touching that he really wanted to see it from the artistic point
Exactly.
of view, because that's why you did this, right?
Yeah. So I'm very proud of my, dad.
That's so great. You are married, yes?
Yes. Yes.
And I hear that it was kind of a romantic love story how you met.
It is very unusual. It sounds like my life is full of unusual things. I had a dinner with one of my collectors that night, and then we walk in the street.
Was this in New York City? Or?
Yeah, it's in New York City.
Okay.
And then we walked in the street at night, late night, and then I saw one guy just standing in the street, and then I just look at him, and then he looks really nice to me. He is like really handsome. So I was like, oh my God, he's so handsome. I just look at it. And then he looked at me, and he didn't stop. He just like keep looking at me. So I just keep looking at him. So we passed like this, and then I went to like other, restaurant. And then in my head, like just thinking about him, oh my God, he's so handsome. But it's just we already passed, and in the street it's just gone, So I felt like tired, so I wanted to come back home. So I walked, like same street, walk back, and then I, I was looking at him at the same spot, but he wasn't there. He was gone, of course. But I found like German restaurant over there, like bar and restaurant, and I kind of felt like maybe he's inside of the restaurant. So I asked the collector to go inside together, have like drink. So we went in, and then he was there.
Really? So based on intuition that he might potentially be there, you went there, and he was there.
Yep, that's how we met. Yeah.
So did you approach him and say, "Hey, I saw you, you saw me"?
I asked my husband later, like, did you notice that I stopped by because of you? And he's like, yeah, of course.
That's too funny. So how did you then start to get to date and get to talk and all that?
Oh, so that night I asked him, like, are you Korean? And he's like, yes. So I was like, yes. So I asked him like brief, questions, and then that's the first time like we kind of felt, same chemistry together, and we date later, and it happened.
And now, how many years later is this now?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Goodness, wow! It's like a scene out of a movie.
Almost, kind of maybe I can make a short film about, our story, but it sounds very cheesy because it's very, it's like movie-like. So if I want to make a movie, it's so movie-like, so it's so cheesy. I like star, and I want to be a star.
Nikki Lee has been involved in a wide range of activities in addition to photography. She filmed a documentary movie and had street artists draw her portrait as a way to explore her identity yet again. And in 2013, Nikki Lee is opening up a new chapter in her life as an artist by undertaking another creative project that deals with the notions of identity.
So let's talk a little bit about your recent works. Tell me about what you've done recently.
I made a documentary. It's called AKA Nikki S. Which is 60 minutes documentary about two Nikki Lee.
Two Nikki Lees.
Yeah,
okay.
I made two Nikki Lees artists. So like one is very stereotypes and typical artists, and the other one is like very like unusual kind of like artists. So I played myself actually as an artist, because whenever I go to lectures and at the airport and people pick me up and then they are like first, impression is like, oh, you look different than I thought.
Huh.
So I was like, okay, what did you expect? Now I expect Nikki is like blah, blah, blah. So I asked people like, what did you expect? Do I look different from the pictures and do I look different from than you thought? And so I realized a lot of people imagine Nikki's and this way or that way. So I thought maybe I can make a documentary about this way and that way.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's called AKA Nikki S. I made it like 2006 and it's premiere at the MoMA in New York, and then it went to Berlin Film Festival and Hong Kong. And then I made a new work called Layers.
Layers.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Layers means layers, layers of identity. And whenever I go different countries, I see people who draws tourist face, around the park or something. Every country,
yeah, I've seen that everywhere.
City,
yeah,
in Korea as well. So I was wondering, if I go to Paris and did some portrait, or if I go to Brazil, did some portrait, do I look same or do I look different? Do I look the person like Peruvian or Brazilian? And I was curious how they gonna see me and how drawings gonna look the same or not. You know? So, and I went to all different kind of like cities and then draw my face, different, like let's say 3 people, and then I came back home and then I put together like 3 drawings, and then I put light under the drawings, and then I took a picture, and then I switched the order. So I made 3 drawing / pictures from different cities, drawings.
Wow.
And then also it shows how to say layers of my face, and it also connects to the idea about identity, like which is, let's say, I have a friend who is very outgoing and funny and laughing person. So I always thought she's very, funny and laughing. But she told me that one day, like, I'm very shy. So she knew that from the beginning when she was young, she's very shy. So she tried so hard to not to be shy. So that's why she laughed a lot, and but she was very shy person. So I was thinking like, oh my God, if people's like this, to understand other people really deeply, it's so hard, Like I have to across the bridge to go like inside of other person to understand real deep inside of other person, So many layers in the personality. So that also gave me the motivation to make layers.
Let me ask you about the time period between the new and recent works that you've been working on and your last documentary project. So there was maybe about a 6-year kind
4
of...
years. Oh my God, 5 and 6 years?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So there's
now I feel really guilty.
So there's been that kind of time where you weren't really showing a lot of your art. Were you in a slump? Were you just in the creative phase? What was going on during that time that you weren't kind of
Everything
producing?
Actually.
Yeah.
It's I moved from New York to Seoul, so it's like transition.
Okay.
And also I support my husband. Sounds very asthma, but I love to support my family and my husband. So, and plus also I made my work for 10 years. So and I kind of felt I need time to just far away from everything what I did. And then I wanted to start new,
Do you feel like that time away from your art during that time was necessary? Or do you regret having kind of not worked harder?
It's not necessary, or it's not regret or something. It has to be because the time of transition plus, and I didn't, how to say, I always believe that I want to make something what I feel like want to make something, because I don't really try not to make a work if I need, money to sell or something. So I think that's the time probably I didn't kind of feel like it to make a work as well.
So now are you working on a film project, I hear?
Yeah. I'm working on film and also moving images. So moving images is for art. Film is for let's say commercial film. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're doing two separate projects.
Yep.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Tell us about the moving images project.
Moving images. I cannot explain like really specific right now details because it's in process.
I see.
Yeah, but I kind of wanted to do something like, when you desperate something, at the end you feel very empty, right? Or like vanity of life. Or when you feel very empty and vanity of life, sometimes you feel very desperate, right? So it's about it.
Okay. So it's about desperation
And
the emptiness of emptiness of vanity.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
So
sounds very philosophical.
it does sound very philosophical. Is it something that's easily captured in moving images?
Not easily, probably, but I'm trying. But well, from the outside, probably it doesn't feel that way, probably. But when you look at it, and the emotion is probably coming out from that.
I see.
Yeah, emotion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Very interesting. And you are also working on a film project, you said, that's commercial. So are we talking like an actual film that we'll see in a theater?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell us about that project.
Well, I wrote the script, and
Interesting.
And I have two scripts, which is very melodrama. I mean, I'm working on that script too,
Okay.
and the melodrama is gonna come out probably, late next year or something. But
Okay.
this year, I wrote a script about actress.
Aha.
So it's about actress.
Okay.
Yeah. So I cast like top star.
Wow.
And then now in the process of getting money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in the funding stages of your movie project.
Exactly.
You've already cast the lead actress. Now, are you the lead actress?
No. Also, nobody's gonna give money then.
So may I ask who you've selected as the lead actress?
I don't know if I can tell now.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
you can see soon.
okay.
Yeah.
And when will you start with the actual production?
I hope this autumn or like in the fall, but it depends on how funding situation.
So tell us a little bit about the story. You said it's about an actress. Tell me more. I'm interested.
Oh, it's actress's identity. I cannot really say this scenario because it's a black comedy in a way.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also fake documentary. Yeah, so like fake documentary, black comedy, Woody Allen-ish, plus drama, and Nikki Lee.
Wow.
Yeah. Or maybe there's chance I can be in the film as well as a director.
Well, I really wish you all the best with all the things that you're doing in the future. And if there's something that I can ask you, that I ask of all of my guests, to you, what do you consider art?
Art to me, the things, it's like family. Sometimes I hate it, but I love it, but I cannot, get out of it. Yeah.
Great. Nikki Lee, it's been such a pleasure to talk with you today, and I really think that it's been a really fun time to talk with you.
Oh, I had fun too.
Yeah, you're just a joy to talk to, and I really appreciate you being here with me.
Oh, thank you.
Great, thank you so
I
much.
really had a great time.
Awesome, thank
Thanks.
you. Hope to see you again.
See you again.